Welcome back to a very special edition of So You're Interested In, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into their catalog. Why is this episode so special, you might ask? Well, it has something to do with the fact that today is the 5-year anniversary of Forever Spinning as a YouTube channel. Thank you, I know I'm pretty great. To celebrate the occasion, I turned to Instagram and TikTok to see what you wanted me to cover for this momentous video. I gave y'all 4 options to choose from, but that seemed to be a waste of time because the winner ended up garnering about 80% of the entire vote, which is something I simply didn't see coming. But there's no point in burying the lead any longer. I mean, y'all saw the title of the video, so let's get right into things as we dive into the immaculate discography of Cocteau Twins. To give a quick history, they were a Scottish band that were around from 1979 until 1997, although it could be argued that they truly didn't start until 1981 when they added vocalist Elizabeth Fraser. Primarily a 3-piece during their active time, Cocteau Twins became synonymous with the dream pop genre as they left a huge imprint on the soundscape as a whole. However, the trio did not stop there, as they incorporated doses of post-punk, gothic rock, shoegaze, and ethereal wave. To say the very least, Cocteau Twins found their sound and they thrived in it. To describe the sound of this band without mentioning the vocals is all but pointless, as Liz Fraser's unique approach to singing helped to elevate this band above the rest. The unintelligible vocals are more than mere farce, but rather an extension of the entire instrumental ethos. I realize this might sound completely insane to you right now, but give me until the end of the video and I think you'll be picking up what I'm putting down. During their 20-ish years together, they released a lot of music, from LPs, EPs, singles, compilations, and collabs. They damn near did it all. So, to help you get into this lush discography, I'll be recommending 2 albums and 3 individual tracks that will kickstart your love for Cocteau Twins. But really quickly, before we get into things, I would just like to take a second to thank my old pal Spencer, who helped me to navigate through this catalog and also helped me to write the script. Okay, now as always, we're gonna start things off with the albums. So this is it. This is the one, the golden goose, the creme de la creme, the definitive Cocteau Twins project. Yes, we are of course talking about 1990s Heaven or Las Vegas, what many rightfully consider to be Cocteau Twins' magnum opus. All of their work before has led up and contributed to this heavenly, ethereal, and luminescent piece of art. Right from the needle drop, this album feels like a warm embrace amidst the coldest and darkest winter. The opening track, Cherry Colored Funk, welcomes you back like an old friend, even if this is your first listen. It sounds familiar yet completely unknown, as the slow, simple, and dreamy guitar chords ease you into things. The percussion complements the strings, and slowly but surely, Fraser's cryptic vocals glide into your ear canal. You're safe now, everything is okay. Not only is it the perfect introduction to the record, but also to Cocteau Twins' signature sound. After a few tracks, we encounter Ice Blink Luck. The flanging guitars and subtle bass line create an optimistic and glassy sound. Fraser's vocals sound echoey, yet close and intimate at the same time. Shockingly, however, its shiny enthusiasm dulls in comparison to the album's title track. Heaven or Las Vegas is a volcanic eruption of glimmering, melancholic guitar synth sounds. Like fireworks exploding in the sky, this cut begins with 4 distinct chimey guitar notes that will resonate throughout the entire song. The percussion moves the track along like a never-ending roller coaster. Even if the song was only an instrumental, it would still rank among one of the band's best. But it's Fraser's signature vocals that send the shooting star through the dark night sky. It's an incredibly unique and impressive sound as she argues back and forth with the music, with the only discernible lyrics coming in the chorus, "Am I just in heaven or Las Vegas?" It's a track that will undoubtedly stand the test of time. One final song that will also live on forever is the album's closing track, Frou Frou Foxes in Midsummer Fires. Opening up with a simplistic intro, this cut eventually hits its dreamy breaking point and invites an avalanche of instruments to join in on the fun. The dynamics in the song are what makes it stick so hard. It's a fitting closing for this otherworldly LP, as the song eventually drifts off into the endless bounds of space. Heaven or Las Vegas simultaneously paved the way and set the gold standard for the dream pop genre, as many artists have tried and typically failed to replicate its whimsy. The next album I'd recommend to a first-time Cocteau Twin listener is their 1984 release, Treasure. Released 6 years before Heaven or Las Vegas, Treasure is the album where the band began to embrace the sound that is most associated with them today. Prior to this effort, Cocteau Twins were releasing mostly darker, noisier post-punk songs. While there are still certainly some of these elements to be found on Treasure, they also really began to hone in on their dreamy, reverb-filled sound. Lorelei is a standout track on this bad boy, featuring these shakers and chimes that make it almost seem like a Christmas song. That is, until the very heavy percussion enters the unfold, quickly followed by Fraser's lead falsetto. The song
Persephone
hits hard from the get-go, with Jesus and Mary Chain-esque percussion and metallic shoegazy guitars. Following the formula, Fraser's vocals come in shortly after, this time with a yodeling technique that adds a dark folksy vibe to things. Next up is Pandora for Cindy. This cut feels rather jazzy, as it utilizes a very cool hi-hat for percussion, as well as a nice backing piano. The vocal delivery is smooth and pleasant, with the guitars complementing that well. All I'm saying is, this is a track that you can absolutely slow dance to. Last but certainly not least is Aloysius. This song has a jangly, arpeggiating guitar intro that only grows more complicated as the song continues. Some very cool swooshing synths that mimic a plane taking off overlay with Fraser's quiet falsetto. The percussion contradicts things by having a heavier bass presence, but it doesn't overpower the other parts of the track. To say the least, this is a really solid Cocteau Twins record. You get a sense of what this band is generally about, while also getting a taste of their more experimental side, which is always a fun combination. If you end up digging this record, then I would also totally go back and listen to their 2 previous releases. And with that, we are going to close out the albums, but don't you go anywhere, we still have some tracks to cover. The first track from Cocteau Twins I think you should be listening to is See Swallow Me, from the 1986 release, The Moon and the Melodies. This is the opening song to The Moon and the Melodies, which is a collaborative project between Cocteau Twins and renowned ambient composer Harold Budd. This starts out with an extremely simplistic and melancholic piano arpeggio, and then wham, like a tidal wave, you are hit with these guitar synths. True to its name, it feels like the sea is swallowing you up. Towards the end of the song, you get a beautiful, angelic choir of Fraser's vocals stacked on top of layers of guitars. See Swallow Me is simply not one to pass up. Next up, you should absolutely spin the cut Caroline's Fingers from the 1988 LP Bluebell Knoll. Right off the bat, you'll notice the utterly insane vocals that Liz belts out in grandiose fashion. I mean, seriously, this is one of the best and most impressive vocal performances I've ever heard in my entire life. The mixing between her glass-shattering high notes and more grounded background vocals is done to perfection. I very easily could have chosen the title track to fill this spot, but then you wouldn't get a chance to marvel and awe at the excellence that is Elizabeth Fraser's singing. The instrumental backing is great as well, but it is completely overshadowed by the towering vocals. Caroline's Fingers is a song that will not be leaving your brain anytime soon, that is a promise. The final song that I recommend checking out is Sugar Hiccup from the 1983 record Head Over Heels. I feel it's safe to say that a lot of their music is super abstract and weird, allowing the instrumental and vocals to do much of the heavy lifting, not putting so much of a burden on the lyrics, and with Sugar Hiccup, that rings entirely true. Liz repeatedly sings about sugar hiccups, which at the end of the day doesn't really make too much sense, but it does sound great. The oscillating instrumental does much of the groundwork, and will probably be the reason that you come back to this one, as it is rather spectacular. Sugar Hiccup is absolutely a vibes-based track, and by all my accounts, it passes the vibe test through and through. And before I close this video out, I have to acknowledge that the discography is so deep and expansive, there's just so much stuff out there, and obviously I didn't get a chance to cover all of it here, so really quickly, I would just like to go through a couple of rapid tracks. Some songs to keep in mind include Wax and Wane from Garland's, Lazy Calm from Victorialand, Squeeze Wax from Four Calendar Cafe, and Seekers Who Are Lovers from Milk and Kisses. And that's gonna do it for my video covering Cocteau Twins. Links to all the albums and tracks discussed here will be located in the video description box below. Scroll down even further to the comment section where you can let me know if you liked any of the albums or tracks that I picked here. Maybe you're a huge Cocteau Twins fan and you think that I completely butchered this list, that's fine. Go to the comments and let me know. Let's be civil about this. Let's have a discussion. Or you can be a dickhead, I really don't care. It's the internet. You can also leave a comment recommending any artists you'd like to see me cover on this show. Just know that I do have a bit of a backlog built up, so if I don't get to it right away, it's nothing personal. I'm probably working on it. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this every single week, along with shows like Stacks of Wax, Where It's At, The Variety Show. I'm just churning out more and more content as the days pass on, and I'm hoping that you're watching it. I know it's the tail end of the video, but I really do want to thank each and every one of you for watching this channel, whether this is your first video or if you've been a subscriber for a long time, whether it's 5 years, a year, it really doesn't matter. I just truly appreciate the support. And I really do hope that I can continue making videos for 5 years more and beyond. So once again, I thank you very much. But yeah, that is all that I have for this special 5-year anniversary video, outside of course, from my usual reminder for you to go out and support your local record store if you are able to, along with the local artists in your area. And well, until I see you next time, happy listening.